All right, so we back up in here, y'all. It's your boy DJ Klyph, and it's another episode of DJ Klyph Presents, brought to you by nobody yet. So if you're trying to get behind this podcast, hit a brother up. Hey yo, man, it's definitely an honor and a privilege to have an opportunity to chop it up with this cat, one of the most talented producers and MCs out there, who I'm privileged definitely to call friend. Yo, man, tell him who you are.
Yo, my mama call me the author. Sometimes she call me D. Y'all call me Theory Hazit. Theory Hazit. Theory Hazit. Theory Hazit. In the place to be, my man DJ Klyph. What's up?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. Thanks so much for for jumping on the podcast, bro. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has. It's always going.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. So you I know I'm making a bunch of jingle, getting things settled up in here, but man, you've been busy, man.
I've been very busy
for a minute.
Very busy. I'm in between school, but school owns me, man. It's just like I can't breathe. It's like, I gotta study. I gotta find ways that are gonna work for me.
Yeah.
And then I have to pay bills, so I have to make tracks. I have to make tracks for others out there in the world. That's how my own music gets neglected. So
I mean, so many things to touch on. Like a lot of folk who are listening to this, obviously, who saw your name attached to the podcast, know. But let folk know, man, you are. Like, you wear a bunch of different hats as an MC, but then also as a producer and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, man. So, I actually produce. I don't just make beats. I actually produce. I arrange songs. I compose. I have the final say over, a lot of the stuff that you hear coming from me. You know what I mean? So, it's a lot of work. A lot of work is being put in. And, man, how do I say that? I just invest a lot, and it takes a lot out of me. When you're doing this by yourself, I don't know. I understand, why it just takes so long for some of my favorite artists to produce things, because they actually put 100% into it.
Yeah. Well, So let's just jump right into that, man. You made note of the fact that you do this by yourself. That's real. There's no big team behind you. This is all you, man.
Yeah, it is. And it just works out that way. Or it just ended up that way. Because I've tried to start teams, I do have my guy Jacob Hill, when it comes to shooting videos and just art direction, things like that, But he busy too, and he feel the same way. He got his own thing, You know what I mean? And so yeah, man, it's definitely no days off for Theory.
No doubt. Y'all are hearing from my man Theory Hazit. We up here in the abode, just chilling. So man, let's go back a little bit, man. You and I connected. I don't even remember how long ago, but I know that I was introduced to your art after you'd relocated out here to Portland, Oregon, when you were doing your thing. I'm sure I first heard about you once you were on the Hip Hop is Music label.
Yes.
So that was like how many years ago?
Man, that was I want to say 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they released which album did they release?
They released That's Your Credit the summer of 2007.
Okay.
And so it was at the end of 2007. That's when I moved out to Portland, and then started doing tours and continued on throughout that following year.
Yeah. And then obviously continued to work with that same crew.
Uh-huh.
And eventually, I'm jumping over a bunch of stuff I know, but then eventually that, members of that connect came together to form a new label, Humble Beast.
Yeah, something like that. I would say was just one person out of that crew, because everything was pretty much all lightheaded. Like I was doing music with Othello and Braille, and it was Braille's label, and Omega did all the artwork for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the crew, and then like Humble Beast came along, and then Braille was pretty much a part of that, and the other guys really weren't. But.
Okay, I got you. And shout out to all of them cats, man. Yo, Omega, if you hear this, man, I'm still trying to connect with you. Got to get you on the podcast, you know what I mean? And I know Othello's out there doing this thing out in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Serene Poems out there. I know they're doing some really cool things out there.
Yeah, man.
Got to try to connect with them as well. But yeah, man. So you got with Humble Beast, and you folk were like kind of that next label when it comes to Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like.
To me, I looked at it as, the underground hip hop, or the underdogs of like Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
Kind of like you looked at how you would look at like Rhyme Sayers or Stone's Throw or maybe even like like a Def Jux. You know what I mean? Like just kind of like almost left field.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
I was pretty like Braille and I were pretty much like the only ones there that wasn't trying to do any like type of, off the wall left field type of music. You know. Right. It was just straight up and down hip hop.
No doubt. So you were there for a minute. You had a project that released on Humble Beast that was well received. That was a pretty amazing project called 3.
Yeah.
And things sort of moved, but you're no longer part of that collective anymore.
Right. So that was actually Lord Fire 3, and it was, entirely produced by my man Dirt. I only suggested a few samples that he flipped, but then it got great reviews, a good push, and even went on a tour like right after that album. But we went on tour with another label, and we called it Beast Mode. Basically, 2 labels got together and just went all over the country. And but yeah, things just got a little like rocky at home, and I was going through a divorce. Technically, ultimately, I was going through a divorce, and that's not what I was calling it at the time. And it was just really hard to, like, I could see from maybe their perspective, it was hard to support a friend and yet be about what they stand for, about what we stand for, so for me, I just kind of like, I felt like, the friendship left, like there was no, or if it like, I want to say maybe, they didn't have time. Maybe they wanted to be there for me, but maybe they didn't have time, or my time ran out, or I really don't know like what it was.
Yeah.
But there was definitely, a disagreement, to what was going on. And, I just, the support failed eventually. Like it just, the more it went on, like the support failed. And so I just kind of like accepted it and moved on, you know what I mean? And not really focused on, I wasn't really focused on music anymore. I was just trying to like, I don't know, move on to something else and actually have something going on for my life rather than, just being a rapper or, just into music. And, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I did jump into school, after that or while that was going on, just to kind of like keep my mind, stable and actually build on something. I've never had a piece of paper before, you know what I mean? I've never had a degree, in anything. I've never like moved like I got into college and I dropped out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I even dropped out of high school. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't even care, you know, when I was in high school. And so I was just like, man, I need to do something for myself.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was like the healthy thing to do. So, you know, but yeah, man, just
crazy. It's just crazy.
I wish it would have turned out better.
Yeah.
You know, I wish, you know, it's a line on my album or on the song I did, you know, that goes, I wish you would have hung with me during the wicked cycle.
It's deep.
You know,
it's deep.
That's real. You know, I mean, I wasn't asking anybody to agree with me because like there's a part of me that didn't agree. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't like division. You know, I don't like to create enemies or anything like that. I was trying to make it work. People don't even know how long I've been holding it down. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to like make excuses or anything like that. In fact, I will, you know, whatever you want to call me, I'll own it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, Theory Hazit, man. So, you know, that, like you said, that was the situation that you went through. You've moved beyond that, and you're working on other things, and the label has gone on to continue to grow. And so, you know, like my man Luck One often says, or Hanif often says, man, I want everybody to win. So it's just, you know, as long as everybody is healthy in what they're doing. So since then, you've continued to be, aside from being a student, you've continued to work on making music, and you released a project a little bit ago, the DC Comics joint.
Right.
Speak on that, because man, when I first heard that, wow, bro, like that was a pretty open and personal project that you put out there, man.
Yeah, man. I don't even know where to begin with that. I mean, I just knew like from hearing the producer of that, Cream of Beats. As soon as I heard him, I just knew I had to get a track from him. And so,
how'd y'all connect?
I was just looking for beats for extra credit. You know, I was just under that pressure of creating an album, you know, and I knew it was going to be like on a crazy platform, be exposed like really well. And I liked his beats, and I bugged him and actually met him through a friend, Z1. And yeah, man, I started like hitting up his music, bugged him. He finally sent me a beat CD in the mail, and I went through those beats, and he ended up doing like 2 or 3 tracks for like the extra credit album. And then, you know, I stayed in touch with him. You know, he was like, man, you the first rapper to get my junk on vinyl. That's crazy. And so I just stayed in touch with him, man, and he would like send me beats just to like critique and like listen to and then just enjoy. I was just like, man, I can't take this anymore. I gotta like rap to this. You know. And then it was like 2008, and I was just like, man, what's up? And so like I kept getting at him. I got at him for 2 years straight, and he was just like, bump it, let's just do it. And man, I think I made like over the course of like a year and a half later, I made like I want to say like 40 to 50 songs to his beats.
And look, and I'm going to say, and Theory ain't just saying that, because I remember, and this is probably, man, this had to have been like probably maybe 4 years ago. I was at the crib, and you was like, yo, let me let you hear some of the stuff that I did. And you pulled up, like it wasn't even one folder. It was like divided into 2 or 3 different folders. Just tracks and tracks and tracks that you had recorded for this project, for this DC.
Yeah, man. Because at the time, I was done with it. You know, the Elemento project was out.
That's right. Shout out to Elemento, man.
I think I was in the process of working on Amnesia with Othello.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I sat on that DC Comics projects for so long, you know, and, you know, I think, well, who really encouraged me to put it out was Dane and Kenny Fresh.
Oh yeah. Local cast, man. If y'all don't know about Kenny Fresh, he is the owner of Fresh Selects, an amazing record label that has done some really great things. since its inception in 2014, they released some dope projects. And if you don't know about Dane, an amazing producer, a really cool cat. I'm gonna just say this: if you ever get an opportunity to connect with Dane and get into a conversation with him, like Dane don't pull no punches. So
nah,
just, get ready.
He keeps
for
it 100,000.
No doubt.
And so he was just like, I was just like, man, it's too late. I don't want to put it out. He was like, dude, it's timeless. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it real with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to put that out. And so, yeah, man, I made a move on putting it out. Kenny was just like, yo, you can put it out. Because originally Kenny was going to put it out on his label. And then Kenny just came through and it was just like, yo, you could put it out. Here, I got the same. Here's my hookup.
Yeah.
He just gave me the tools and was just like, here you go. You can do what I'm doing. I was just like, wow. All right. Dope.
So like I said though, the project it's crazy to me because it feels like such a personal project to me, man. Like when I listened to it, I remember I was traveling, so I was listening to it when I was in the airport. I just had to keep listening on repeat. And I remember I think I hit you up and I was like, man, Theory, like you really kind of went in on that project, bro. Like just in terms of being like opening yourself.
Yeah.
Or letting people have a peek inside who you are.
Well, it's just a look. Like, here's the thing with DC Comics. Believe it or not, like, I would say maybe 10% of that album was personal. Most of it was just stuff I wanted to hear. It was just my imagination.
Okay.
I was just trying to create something that I enjoy hearing. Basically, just like making dope music without any cussing.
Yeah.
But so yeah, man, it was just my imagination. A lot of people like, yo, is you talking about so and so and that? I'm like, nah, man, I had that written before anything had even happened. Like, what? That's not about your girl. That's not about your wife. Like, I was like, nah, we were together when I wrote that.
Yeah.
Like, and it was cool. You know what I mean? Like, and she approved of it. It was, but like, yeah, man, I say that and say that I would be like the dopest gangster rapper because I got this crazy imagination. I would just like sell all kind of records if I wanted to do that, man. I'm just telling you right now.
Theory Hazit, man. So like I said, the name of the project is DC Comics Monolith Monster.
Monolith Monster.
Yeah. So you can check it out, theoryhazit.bandcamp.com or iTunes or whatever your digital outlet.
Yep, Spotify.
All of that. All of that. So like now you said it just a second ago, like you recorded like 30 or 40 joints.
Yes.
So is there going to be a follow up to that?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, follow up to Monolith Monster is Adamant. I'm serious. That's the name of the next DC Comics project, Adamant, because we just coming like hard with it. We coming hard with it, and we standing firm, son.
This dude is silly, bro. This dude is silly. All right, so let me do this though. Just to be clear though, I want people to understand that, you're not on a Humble Beast label anymore.
Right.
You are not. You haven't put aside your faith though. You haven't put aside your.
No.
I mean, you would still consider yourself a faith-based artist.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm always going to be a faith-based artist. Whether I'm going to be putting my faith in something or someone, I'm always going to be a faith-based artist. Everybody makes worship music because you're worshiping something in your music.
Oh, Theory getting deep on y'all. What y'all know about that?
Everybody makes worship music. You worship the moment you wake up in the morning.
Oh.
What you worshiping, like who you worshiping? Yourself. So
wow,
yeah,
dude,
man.
That's what's up.
Always gonna be faith-based, man. Like it's gonna come out, man. Like I feel like Elemento's like line when he says, "To some I'm not Christian enough." you know, others think I'm too Christian. I say God too much. You know, I feel like I fit right there in that groove, that vein, that whole label, that category, you know, subgenre, whatever, you know, because like I mean, I find myself saying God a lot. So if I'm living it, it's gonna come out. Even if I try to like hold back, it's gonna come out in my music.
But isn't that like the definition of being true to self, of being real? Because if you're saying that that's who you are as an individual, then that is gonna come out in your art, won't it?
Yeah. You know, some people are good at faking it though.
Ooh, come on now, be careful.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm just saying, like, some people, you got good actors, man. Like, ooh. I know who they are, man. Like,
come on,
I used to be a professional liar.
Blast, bro.
No. I'm talking about myself. Like,
yeah,
you know, I was a thief once upon a time. You know what I mean? And you know, if to be a thief, you gotta be good at lying. Yeah. And if you're good at lying, you're good at acting. And there's a lot of actors in the game. That's all.
One of the things that I often hear when I talk to other people who are artists, both MCs and or producers, is people often say, man, Theory Hazit is a beast. You know, I got to get on the Theory beat, or I got to get Theory on, you know, on this project that I'm working on. So I don't know if you as an artist get to hear that, but, you know, the lane that I'm blessed to be in with the podcast and with the radio show, you know, I get to hear that, man. I mean, you get a lot of love. And I think it's interesting because as I'm perusing music, oftentimes, I feel like you and I stay fairly connected. But oftentimes, I'll see something pop up with like a Theory Hazit verse on it. Like, it seemed like it's coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, as an example, I just picked up this this vinyl from this cat. I think he's in Japan, named Blessed.
Oh, yeah, Yoshi Blessed.
Yeah, Yoshi Blessed. Yeah. And I picked it up because I seen Theory's on there, Jose Moore's on there. Like you working on solo projects, but you constantly rhyming on other people's projects and producing for other people.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's a lot of love. You know, that means I love them, man. Like, you know, like, ask Fat Boy, man. Can't nobody really just come up to me and just be like, yo, I need a verse. Like, there's got to be some love there. There's got to be, like, you know, mutual respect or whatever, you know. And I love them dudes. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And, you know, I know they'll come through for me. So, I mean, yeah, man, we work together. We be working.
That's what's up. Now, you mentioned Fat Boy. If people don't know, that's DJ Fat Boy holding down right here in Portland. He got a mixtape that he's putting out. So you did a verse on that one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be on the look for that one, man. That one, Fat Boy's a good dude. I'm gonna just say that he's a good dude, and so I'm happy to see how well he's doing. All right, so here we are now. DC Comics dropped. You know, you're doing your thing now. Continue your education as a student in school, but you have been hard at work on the next Theory Hazit solo project.
Yeah.
Follow the Light Bearer.
Yes.
And that's done. We can say now that is officially complete.
It's done. It's so done. I'm so glad. I feel like, you know, I just got this strength, a lot of strength out of nowhere to like just start on the next album.
Wow.
You know, it's such a relief to have it done and to sit back and listen to it. And just to hear it the way that it is, and, you know, just to appreciate everything from the guest appearances to just the other producers. Like, there's like 3 other producers that did a track on there, and the rest is just me. So it's like 85% Theory Hazit beats.
Yeah.
And, man, just everything, man. Just the way that it connects and flows. It is so weird how it came together. It's so weird. I just saw this artwork that my homie did. You know, he's our homie. He actually he does like a lot of Humble Beats album covers, T-shirts. He does a lot of artwork.
Yeah.
His name's Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. And I saw him post something, on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I want that for the album cover, yo. That is so crazy. And so he sends me the artwork, and it turns out it was like, because I told him I wanted it, and he was just like, it's all you. And it turns out that it was like beautiful eulogies, like artwork that they had passed on. They turned it down. They wanted something else, and I was just like, man, I've been trying to like have art. I wanted artwork like this, like almost 10 years ago. For like a production album, like where I was just on the beats, because it was just like this robotic looking figure on there, and you know, he didn't have a mouth, and I wanted to do something like that for like my production album. And so he changed the words on there and the title, and he gave like this robot a voice box. You could see like this microphone sitting on top of his neck, or it's like a speaker. It looks like a speaker on his neck. And so yeah, I mean, and then it went from that to giving him the track list. Like not one song was made, and so I made up the track list. And it was just like I challenged myself to make every song in the order that it was, the order I gave him the track list, because I wanted this artwork so bad, and I didn't want anybody to swoop on it or pick it up. I had to make up stuff like right there on the spot. I had like anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes to come up with titles for the song.
This is before you started writing to it?
This is before I started writing to it.
Wow, dude. Okay.
It was so challenging. And so I got the song Watch Out done, because that was just the name of the beat. And there's visuals for that one. There's visuals out there for that. Yeah. So mind you, it's like, I don't know, April, May when this happened. And then June is when I like recorded and shot the video to Watch Out. And then, bam, you know. Then I had a death in the family. It had a death in the family, 2 deaths in the family that month. And then like less than 90 days later, it was another death in my family. So like,
did that influence the writing of the project?
One song, 2 songs. It did. Yes. Like, I scrapped some songs, or I scrapped a lot of ideas. But I just kept the titles, you know what I mean? And definitely, and it was really hard to write during those times. The album was supposed to drop in the summer. And because of the deaths in the family, like I had both my grandparents go, and a cousin passed away. And it was really hard too, because I haven't seen like my family in a few years, and so it was very overwhelming, and it was just a hard time to like process concepts, ideas, writing, and you know, to even like give time to music, because you know, every time somebody had passed away, it was exam week. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
Crazy, man. And here chopping it up with Theory Hazit, talking about the next release, Fall the Library. Something else that happened for you during that time, while you were writing the album, people who follow you on social media may have caught a glimpse of it, but you had an opportunity to hang around, spend some time around one of the artists that I know that you've been a fan of for many, many years.
Yes. Funk Doctor. Reggie Noble, son.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, man. I had a homie, my man Ricky. You know, we collaborate over the internet, like foreign exchange. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
He's a DJ, and so he was just like, "Yo, anything you need cuts to, man, like let me lace you." And I was just like, "All right," you know. And so he cut. He first started cutting on side projects for me, with me. For just stuff that I was working on, and you know, we stayed in touch for years, you know. This is back in '09. And then I want to say last year, around March, the end of March, he was like, yo, I'm on tour. I'm on tour with Redman. I do his merch. And so I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know, he went from being a DJ to like running his own store to like, you know, doing clothes for Redman. So he did Redman's like, you know, snapbacks, backpacks, shirts, and he designed all this stuff himself. And so when he said he was on tour, you know, and he wasn't going to be in the States, he wanted me to come check him out in Canada, and Canada is like 5 hours away. So you just hop in the car and go. Praise the Lord, I have my passport.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, so I went, met with him, and then just hung out with, like, yo, he just takes me backstage, dude. He was just like, yo, and introduces me. I don't even know what to say. You know what I'm saying? I was just like so starstruck, and I was trying not to be. Yeah. This is like somebody I listened to like in high school when I was mad, I was angry, and I listened to his music and just felt better. Yeah. You know, even though it probably didn't, you know, it probably wasn't the best for me to listen to, you know, but, you know, it definitely put me in a better mood because it was like a stress reliever, you know, like straight up and down. Like, you know, I listened to the raw, rugged, boom bap, like Redman, you know what I'm saying? That FU music, you know what I mean? Like when you feeling like that and you go hit play on that and you just hear something and you know the beats is dope and you know he say something and it just make you laugh and it puts you in another mood, you know, that's the kind of connection I got with him, you know what I mean? As far as like, it's like that one, he's real witty, you know, and at the same time, it's kind of gangster. Like his like flows is pretty gangster, you know, gunplay and you know violent, but it was animated. It was almost like watching an adult cartoon or something like that. And so, yeah, man, I got to meet that dude, and I met him again like months later, and you know I ended up giving him some beats, and then he was just like, "These exclusive?" And I gave him that look like, I knew they wasn't all exclusive. I was like, yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, yo, take whatever you want. You know what I mean? And like, yo, I'm in a room with like bugging out, just like MOP's in the room, like Method Man is in the same room. And like, I'm like looking at Doc, and I had to remind him who I was. And when he figured it out, he was just like, yo, you know. And then, you know, from there, you know, I want to say 2 months later, which it ended up being August, he emails me like, yo, I'm writing to this. And me and Meth are writing to this track right here. Like he started like naming the song, naming the beats that I made, letting me know what he's writing to. You know what I mean? And I just hope and pray that I land something.
But that's got to be crazy though, Theory. I mean, to have an opportunity to meet someone that you have been a fan of their art for a little while, and then have the opportunity to potentially collaborate with them doing what you do, that was in part influenced by what they do.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And it's just so weird because what I really think he's on, he's not even on. You know what I mean? Like, I can make something that I would think that he would rhyme to, or, you know, and he would totally pick something else. Like, that's just like, I'm just like, wow. Yeah. You know, like, I don't know.
So going through that process, like I said, I know that you were still writing for Fall the Lightbearer. Did that have any influence on this album?
Yes. Definitely. At least one song.
Okay.
You know, because I don't know, man. I look like on a hip hop tip, like I look at him and Ice Cube and like Common, and like I look at those guys like they fathered pretty much like my style, my delivery, you know, and knowing what I'm working with, like how I decide to like speak to the beat or add like my voice as an instrument to this track, or I don't know, because yeah, man.
That's what's up, though. But that's what's up. I mean, that just being able to look and see your growth as an individual artist, and then, like you just mentioned, break down the influence of that final work. So, for all the libraries, the next project that's going to be dropping, when it drops, we'll definitely let you folk know. Stay connected to social media with us and the podcast. We'll let you know when that's going to drop. The work that you've been doing in terms of artwork and things that are connected to the project have been pretty dope, man. I mean, some of the photo shoots that you've been putting out there for people to see that's connected with Fall the Library. What's the idea behind this project? Like, what can people expect from this project?
Well, I mean, not to sound cliche but it's one of those albums where I'm just like really transparent. You wanted to know what's been going on with me. This is one of the ways you can find out what's been going on with me. Like, it's really explicit. It's for, I want to say, as far as what's been going on personally with me, from like, feeling like a failure, feeling like you have nobody to turn to, or man, I say like all aspects of life when you just feel like you failed at them, and just never giving up. Some of the songs on there are gonna like trip people out, like, and they're not, but they're not about me. People gonna think that they're about me, because I get real deep, in storytelling, and so I did like some storytelling in first person, and some of it is about me, some of it is about somebody else.
That's what's up. Theory Hazit, man. So we know that that album's getting ready to drop, but then you said earlier in our conversation that you feel like this renewed energy to already start working on the next project. So you don't stop.
Nah, I don't, man. I be wanting to stop, but it don't stop, man. I just be like, now I can rest, I can chill.
Yeah.
But then I just like, my mind just goes. I feel like I'm an addict. Like, when I see stuff like artwork on Instagram, I just be like, yo, I be inspired, and I'm like, yo, what if I can get that dude to do something for me? I'll hire him to do something for me, and then you just got connection. I got connections, you run into people when you network, and then they want to work with you, and you've been a fan of their stuff, and it just works out. And like right now, I'm working on a project with Sean J. Period.
Okay.
I can say that now. And like, for me, like, he's famous for, the Body Rock song with Mos Def, Q-Tip, Tash from the Alcoholics, Artifacts, a lot of Artifact stuff, Organized Confusion, Mike Zoot. Who did I look up the other day? And I was just like, yo, Mad Skills, Black Star, like the classic Black Star album. He's got 2 tracks on there. But yeah, man, he's always done production for Mos Def.
So you mentioned like you did 85% of the production on Fall the Library.
Yep.
Now you're doing a production where you're rhyming on it, where somebody else is going to be doing production. I know that you've done some other stuff. I mean, do you see yourself more as one or the other, versus MC versus producer, or are you just an artist, a straight up artist?
I mean, of course, I'm just a straight up artist, man, because I might just quit doing music and start doing people's videos or documentaries or whatever. I like to dabble in the video too, and that's what I'm in school for film. And I'm just learning all kind of stuff. Or maybe I just might do the sound for the next feature film, not as in like soundtrack, but as in, sound effects, Foley, ADR, recording, mixing, somebody's dialogue piece, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I'm just an all around artist, but I like making beats. But as long as there's like rappers out there that I really can't stand, I'm always right.
That's what's up.
You know, like it's just like ugh, like. But then there's just stuff out there I just love to enjoy, but it's just not enough of it.
There you go. There you go. That's what's up. Theory Hazit, man. Yo, the DC Comics project came out on Wetwork. And the fall of so it came on Wetwork. But let people know what Wetwork is, though, because just in case they don't know for sure.
Wetwork is Theory Hazit's label.
Come on now.
Wetwork Music is Theory Hazit, Jacob Hill, and Rattlehawk.
Okay.
You know, that's us. Like, for right now.
Yeah.
That's who Wetwork is. And I will continue to release like independent stuff, side projects, you know, collaborative efforts. Like Rattlehawk is going to be releasing from there. So there's an artist, Rattlehawk, Shaft, and DC Comics so far.
Okay.
You know, that's going to be like releasing from like Wetwork.
Okay.
And as far as Theory Hazit is going to be I'm going to release like music through, you know, Soulspazm and whatever Sean J is trying to like release the music, because I know Sean J has his own label.
Okay.
And he's a producer. And so what he's going to do is he's going to be sending me like, you know, 2 tracks. You know, he's not going to be sending me sessions. He's just going to send me like beats, and I'm going to record to him, and I'm going to send him what I do, and he's going to have that done. And yeah, man.
That's what's up, man. So y'all be on the look for more from coming from Wetwork as well. And then the idea of being a record label, are you on the look for artists who are trying to get down, or are you just are you just gonna work with your current stable of artists for the moment?
It may come to a point where I look for artists. Right now I'm not looking for any artists.
Yeah.
You know, it was just once upon a time that I was going to be the only artist on this label. And, you know, and then I had like some friends that I was really digging their music. And so I was just like, man, maybe we should do this.
Yeah.
We should probably do this. Like, right? Like, we could do this.
So it's just an organic thing. I mean, it's truly about like-minded people coming together to make art for real.
Right. There's this one guy that I'm in talks with right now. Like, he is so dope, and he's one of the first featured artists on the DC Comics project. But but you never heard of him. Nobody's ever heard of him.
Yeah.
You know, like, to make a long story short, man, if I even add anybody else, you know, to the roster, it would be that guy. His name is Smart. Y'all need to check him out. He actually spells his name SM_RT.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he's so dope. Very dope individual. Dope lyricist.
Okay. All right. So we definitely gonna be on the look for that as well. Man, I'm just really looking forward to this Fall of the Lightbearer project. I know it's gonna be dope, and I'm just happy to see that you are continuing to make music, man, because I know that you have aspirations of doing more. Like you talked about getting more into the video stuff, but I think that your voice is a voice that needs to continue to be heard by the masses. So as long as you feel a spirit moving you that way, man, definitely keep making that music. You know.
Yeah, for sure, man. I really appreciate it, man. From what I got back from like the label, it's about to be crazy.
That's what's up.
It's about to be crazy. Y'all better be riding with me. That's all I'm saying. Because if you're not riding with me right now, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Hey, yo, just in case people aren't already, let them know how to connect with you via social media, man. I always want to make sure that people can stay connected and be up on the next move.
Man, I ain't hard to find. You can, go into the little search box on Twitter and just type in Theory Hazit. You can misspell it and still find me.
There you
go. I'm on Facebook, Theory Hazit.
And it's Hazit, Hazit.
Yeah. And, theoryhazit.com. It'll take you straight to my Bandcamp, and, You know, I try to keep it on a personal level. I try not to ignore everybody. You know, I try to keep it like pretty real. You know, you say what's up. You know, if you're saying like Happy Father's Day or Merry Christmas, I try to like get back with you. You know, I try to be cool about that. But if you just like, yo, hey, how's it going? And then you start throwing me links to like your music.
Which is the crazy thing now. I've heard a couple artists talk about that. Like, yo, there's definitely ways to get connected on that side. But if we are on social media, it should be social, not business.
Yeah, I mean, man, I listen to a lot of music. That's why I say that. I'm not saying that to clown anybody or prevent anybody from even sharing their music with me or anything. It's just that I get it all the time, and it's just not even intimate.
Yeah.
It's not even sincere. You just kind of like hustling.
Hey, yo, speaking of that though, you were doing a video series for a minute where you were critiquing music.
Yes.
Speak on that, man.
I mean, I could still do it if I had the time, and I will still do it. We had time to do it.
But what was it though? What was the project now?
It was just it was geared by Beats and Visuals, and that's me and Jacob. You know what I mean? Jacob Hill. Shout out to him. It was definitely his idea, and basically, people would just like submit their music, and it was like a small fee, for us to like, critique it and give like good feedback, bad feedback, just basically direct people into making good music. Like, like even if it was music that I'm not particularly a fan of, like I still, would be like, yo, this is the route that you would want to go. Like, and this is who you would want to get it. You want this guy to mix it, and basically, don't use auto-tune, bro. Stuff like that. Like,
right.
Like, you sound good. Why are you using auto-tune? Like.
But that's dope, though. I mean, before people get too far financially into a project, to give them some guidance along the way. Hopefully, save some people some heartache.
Yeah, man, and don't look at it as like oh, it's just another company that's taking money from people. No, you want to invest in yourself. I mean, it's just like investing in a new mic, a better mic, or investing in quality production. I mean, I do it. I still do it to this day. I pay to get in beat battles. Why? Because DJ Premier is judging it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna tell me what's whack and what I'm doing wrong or what I need to perfect.
That's what's up.
So yeah, that's
what's up, man. Theory Hazit, brother. Thank you so much, man, for for jumping on the podcast. Like I said, this one's been a long time coming. The podcast started a while ago, and you're definitely an individual that I was looking forward to having an opportunity to sit down and share with. So I truly appreciate you, man.
Man. Real. No, I appreciate you, brother. You doing this and putting us out there. So, yo, man, you could. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just an honor and a blessing to even be wanted. To even be interviewed. Somebody wants to know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, absolutely, man. Once again, just thank you so much. Be on the look for Follow the Light Bearer. Follow my man, Theory Hazit, theoryhazit.com. And then just stay tuned to the podcast, man. We're going to have, I got some other things in the works. I want to continue to introduce artists like this to you and, hopefully continue to grow this movement. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed.
Peace.
I'm out.